loafers.
Okay.
Yeah, like
Now
loafers,
I
but
have an
school
idea.
shoes.
But school shoes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the big soles and all those things.
Oh, those
So
I didn't like those shoes.
I liked them.
I
The
sure.
reason why I liked them was because rolling, and then stop, and then yeah.
I can see
You see,
this guy like you.
like why?
From the people that are dead, I would like to talk to Robert Gabriel.
That's a good one. One.
Hello, guys. This is the TCP episode 5, and we are glad to be back again with another banger. And this is Brendan Talent, and I'm here with my brother, my friend.
Just know, yeah.
Yeah, Joe of the Sinoya.
Joe from this Noah's episode 5 here with TCP, and yeah. So how's it going? This is the episode
Everything.
5. How are
Episode
you
5.
feeling?
I feel good.
You feel
I
good?
feel. I feel like I am consistent of something. I feel like I am building something, and I feel okay.
Starting from bottom.
Mm,
Now you're still at the bottom, but a little
a
bit.
little bit,
Yeah.
progress.
Should you go?
At least I'm, yeah,
At least you are doing.
I'm doing. Mm. That's what I am happy about this week.
Should as they keep going.
Yeah.
They don't stop.
What about you?
For me, everything lager.
Lager.
Everything good.
That's good.
Everything lager, everything good.
That's good.
So yeah. Recently,
Yeah.
Speed came, and you told
you
me.
confirmed that.
I watched some clips in class, and I think he did a good impact. I think he did something for the world,
For the world mainly, or
like exposure.
exposure, right?
Yeah,
So actually, people are now having
can
insight
actually see
of
what's
knowing.
going on in China. Which
Yeah. I heard that because of what Speed was doing. The sales of BYD.
BYD.
I think you are the one who actually
I
told me
talked
that.
about
Yeah,
this when we are going
we,
back
we
to
were
the
coming
talks.
from class. Yeah,
Speed. I got feeling it.
you messed up everything.
You opened the doors.
Of course,
I got put out because USA now. I think they're gonna put tariffs on Chinese cars now, since the car that he bought was 250.
Okay.
K. 250K. 250.000.
USD, not
USD. Not
Chinese. Yeah.
Chinese. Movable. You can move with your phone. You can do anything. You put the clip.
Yeah, I'll put it there.
I'll show these guys. But yeah, I think after that, USA was exposed to that. They decided, you know what? Since it's cheaper and better,
let's try this car.
Buy these guys. But
in Tesla sales, they were just presenting that the sales of that car is
even now.
They are even, not yet under.
I'm sure after this,
nothing else.
What can we say?
What can we say?
Because 15 years, it took them 15 years, and their production or manufacturing place, it's bigger than San Francisco.
Yeah, I saw that post by that Wealth channel, I think.
Yeah, the manufacturer of
BYD.
Yeah, BYD. BYD means build your dreams, right?
Yeah, that's
build your dreams. That's the name of the car, BYD. Yeah.
Wow. I think maybe people didn't actually think China was going to be
phones.
And
the culture, these guys.
Some people are actually getting more insight because of people who are showing China to the world.
I think we should do that also.
We should actually start walking around,
around and doing
and showing some stuff, some good stuff that China has. But I was, America, you can actually see everything because there are a lot of explorers which are there and stuff. But Chinese people, since they are not exposed to channels like YouTube, to applications like YouTube, Instagram, us who are using it can use the platforms
take that as an advantage.
And advantages that just present China to the world and stuff. Boys, as I'm saying it, I don't think the world literally knew
Mm.
what China was like.
I mean, you can find a Donald Trump copy. You can find, Tony,
Yeah, Tony, yeah.
LC Science.
LC signs, yeah.
Yeah,
That guy is doing great.
he's doing great. Who else? Super Idol.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, those are the names I can remember from
Yeah.
that stream. But I
Mm.
didn't watch the stream. I was watching clips
That just the clips
from
and stuff, yeah.
TikTok.
Mm.
But like we said, language barrier is the only problem that I can say.
Yeah.
However, cultural, they are very strong
With their culture, right?
with their culture. The mixture of culture and technology,
Yeah,
education, and all
that's
those
what I
things.
like. I think it was our Chinese teacher. He showed us an event that happened
Hmm.
in Hangzhou. There were robots that came dancing,
Hmm.
but they were dancing in a Chinese cultural manner.
Manner.
You get it?
Oh.
So that's what I like about Chinese people. Even though the technology will be advancing,
Hmm.
they advance it, but in with their culture
With the culture
sink
implemented
inside
into the
into
things.
the things that they are doing.
Yeah,
So you cannot say that China will ever lose their culture.
yeah,
Like
because
sometimes what Africa is going through, that they are literally being westernized. Literally, we are being westernized. We are forgetting where we came from.
our
Our
clothes,
clothes, everything is just being
we
changed.
don't even for. We had this conversation,
Mm,
Africa wise, where we had talked about foods
mhm,
in Africa. Western people have a lot of criterias,
mhm.
categories of foods. Potato leaves, we call them cassava, if I'm correct.
Yeah,
Um, a lot like jollof,
jollof rice and stuff like that. Yeah,
okra stew, all
mm.
those things. And
Acheke
it
from Cote d'Ivoire.
now it was our turn.
You see?
Our turn, and the only thing we could say was Sadza.
Imagine, man. Even when we talk about this in school,
Sadza
man, like
nemurio,
all those other
Sadza and beef,
and beef,
Sadza and
zondo,
chicken, zondo.
sadza, in this, it's sadza in that.
Sadza, Sadza,
But to
Sadza.
actually bring something that is from us,
From us, exactly.
uh,
We are sorry
but it's the
to,
truth though.
it's the truth. I don't know if we have,
Literally, honestly speaking, if I try to remember,
yeah.
it's sadza, right?
Mm.
But you can put peanut butter on it, then it turns brown. That's how different
Oh,
it can be.
okay, okay.
And
Sadza and rice. What is it? Peanut butter and
peanut,
rice.
yeah,
You see?
is it? So
So,
it's just there's not much difference, but you are trying to
yeah,
make a change. But honestly, Zimbabwean dishes, I haven't actually seen
a
a lot of
compared to like
variety to other
other
nations.
nations.
No, 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 no. I don't know other nations though.
I don't know if you
But
know
from where I came from,
chakalaka. You know chakalaka?
yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay, chakalaka. Built on, built on was also outside Africa.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, there's not a lot. There's not a lot of staple foods, but
Yeah.
oh, and also this thing, the helicopters.
Hmm.
They've been producing a lot of helicopters in China. They've been testing them, and they are actually quite impressive. Like air taxis,
Yeah,
so
Texas.
they
Yeah.
call Shanghai,
Okay, I remember
Shanghai.
that clip. I think I remember
Yeah,
that clip. Yeah.
wasn't Mohammed talking about that?
No, no, no,
He
no.
was talking
It
about the
was about the
birds.
birds and stuff like that. Yeah.
The birds. That one, we'll keep looking for that. But yeah,
Hmm.
I think they're gonna start doing that this year or next
Oh,
year.
the next year.
Mm.
And I saw that people are just trying to calculate, those like pre calculations of
Mm.
how if the Chinese economy continues to grow
Because
at the rate that is growing,
it's
they are saying
rapidly
by 2030
way
it will
ahead
be number one above like
all the
all
countries.
the countries. Even
All the
though yeah, that might take a lot of work, but I think as they are saying, if it maintains the growth rate that
keeps
is
doing that.
that, I think yeah, by 2030 it would be.
15 years it took them to do
Imagine,
that.
man. Because I saw our Chinese teacher like shows us a lot of stuff.
Mm.
China, if you look at China by 1980, bro,
Didn't look like that.
it didn't look like this at all. But
Didn't.
just a few years now, it has been transformed, bro.
Yeah, I think they took over the population.
Mm.
Population advantage. Like how many people? It's almost 3 billion now. Or
But that's the thing that I'm
three.
always asking, bro. they have the most populated country, right?
Space.
For other people, for other countries, right? They have a lesser population, but we have a problem of following instructions or doing things together. But we are a limited number of people,
Hmm.
but a bigger number of people are capable of doing
Of
things together.
doing so
But
many
us,
things.
whilst we are a few, we are not
We are
able
not
to
able.
just do something
Mm.
together.
Or you mean labor productivity?
Yeah,
Mm.
like if you look at what is Zimbabwe, what is going through now,
Hmm.
there's a coup, stuff like that. Imagine, bro, if a president speaks in Africa, right? There's another father in his house who's already talking to their family saying, you this president, what he's saying, I don't
I
agree with
don't
it.
agree with it.
Before we even try anything as a country, we are already against each other.
But you never find such things. Maybe we don't know Chinese, but it's rare to
It,
hear
it will be
about.
it will be there, of course,
But
but the majority of
major
people,
that's what I'm saying. Like
mm,
we wouldn't hear much of it, but I think they stand as a country.
that's the thing.
They stand as a country
They
and
believe in their president.
efficiency that presidents
They respect it. That
respect.
man, they
Yeah.
respect that guy, man.
But he was a farmer, right? Was he a farmer or he was part of the military?
I don't remember it. I don't even know
His
his history.
background. Xi Jinping,
Xi Jinping, yeah.
Chinese president. Look at what he's doing. And he's tall.
He is.
He's
He's a very
very
tall
tall.
guy.
He's very tall.
But I just like the Chinese people system, man. The way that they build their society and the way that they
Mhm.
just do things together. That's the part that I love. You know,
The
is it
very
that school
long.
building?
Yeah.
Bro,
Let's go building. Uh, how many feet is that building?
about I was counting. It was nearly 25,
Because
if
it
I'm not
even got to a
mistaken.
point where we talked about the Attack on Titans giants. The
The
Titans.
size and stuff, yeah.
We had to compare with the building, and we asked ourselves, a small human like us can defeat such size. All those things like Levi.
Hmm.
And it didn't take that much time to build this. I think it's been 2 years.
Yes, literally,
Yeah.
or less.
1 year and a half.
Mm.
And they're almost done. They just need to fix the road and the electricity
Only.
within the building. But yeah,
Look
that's
at
how it
that,
is.
man.
But we are getting near 2030.
Of course. We will see.
Is there any plans to go back to Zim or?
Bro, I already I am already
Mm,
in love with these people, bro. Not that I'm not in love with my country or anything, but it's good to get a, what can I say, another perspective
mhm,
of the society. Like they made me realize that sometimes it's the kind of selfishness
mhm.
that you can have as a person, right? When you look at Chinese people, sometimes they can let you know that sometimes you don't have to be selfish
Selfish
to get it. They don't even have to say it because I don't like speak Chinese like
that
that good yet.
much. But the gestures,
But the gesture, bro,
they
they
can
are
show
correct. The way they do their stuff. You can see that, yeah, this is just showing that
manners.
manners and they mind their own business. That's another part.
They try as much to avoid problems.
They mind their own business, those people, bro. Like in Africa, if you are buying a shoe,
Once you are caught, once
if you are wearing a big shoe at school,
it will never end.
that situation you will face bullying like you have never experienced before. The way you dress to class, people will care for your
You
life.
care for your life.
But here,
You
bro,
have to reconsider.
people go to class with pajamas
I'm a Michael Jordan with logos like
like
this.
this. You will cry to your mother saying, "Mom, why did you buy me this shoes?"
I used to cry for grasshoppers. These shoes called grasshoppers in the south.
Mm.
Uh, Primary school, I would annoy my parents because everyone was wearing these shoes. so-called grasshopper shoes. They're really nice shoes. They're
Mm.
like loafers.
Okay, okay.
They're like
Now,
loafers,
now I
but
have an
school
idea.
shoes.
But school shoes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the big soles and all those things.
Oh, those.
Those ones.
I didn't like those shoes, bro.
I liked them.
I.
The reason why I liked them
Mm.
was because they'd go hand to hand with your slim fit bottoms.
Oh, I know what we used to do. Those.
Yeah, this was in primary school.
Mm. In primary school,
It got
you
to a
wanted
point.
grasshoppers, bro.
It got to a point where I had to cry real tears just for my dad to buy me grasshopper.
So that you can flex.
I can flex these shoes. Now that I look back, I don't regret it. I still don't regret it.
Me, bro, grasshoppers. I was like, God damn
You
mercy.
like
I
toughness,
like exactly
big
in the
shoes.
ghetto, bro. The boys would come with those. There was a handkerchief. Like it looked like a cloth, but it's the size of a handkerchief. You would wipe
Wipe
your
and it
shoe until
shines.
it's shining,
Yeah.
until the sun is reflecting
With,
on that shoe, bro.
now with grasshoppers, you just give this stance
Yeah.
and you just brush like this. See, with your hand
And
gesture like this,
like this.
you just be brushing like this.
You know, you would be so serious with brushing your shoes more than your
You
education.
get more invested into it.
Bro,
Just to,
I would touch that shoe like this.
and you brush.
My mom would be like, "Ah, the intensity you're putting on this shoe. Why don't you try it on your books?
Yep.
Why don't you try to be so intense on your shoe shining
Yeah.
as your
Apply
future
that
to
same
shine?
energy into your
Yes.
books.
Yeah. Let your future also shine like your shoe.
Like, but yeah, those times,
Bro.
but yeah, Africa, let them catch you lacking.
Yo.
Brr, done like that.
And also those pens that you're doing, like those slim fit.
Mm.
You would buy, your parents would buy you a baggie and right from those shops. Like I don't remember the NB exactly. I was about to say but I saw the shoes. She would when she got me those pants.
Mm.
At first, you know, I was so scared of my mom. But I saw gents, they started laughing at me, bro. Like those
Your
pants,
baggy
what.
pants.
Then I was like, nah. I'm gonna go to the tailor.
Taylor is expensive.
Oh, you
Taylor
would
is
sacrifice all
expensive.
your
Your
lunch money,
lunch
bro,
money
and just go
just to
there.
see
Then it comes back as slim fit.
skin fits.
Oh, the
No
coat,
bagginess,
and then those
nothing. And
toughies.
then toughies and
Oh,
then a
and
long
a blazer. Bro,
hey there.
you'll be feeling like I
Fresh
ruled the
cut, Bob. Looking
and
at
a
the fresh cut
freaking lollipop
lollipop
in your mouth.
with a Casio watch then,
Exactly.
or an Apple watch.
Then and then that station will be dripping on one hand.
Primary
Those
school
days,
or high
bro.
school.
High school was
Uh,
clicking.
lucky enough, I had to experience it A level.
Mm.
Man, I knew I was gonna miss these days as they were passing. Yeah. I talked to one of my best friends and I said, you know what? After this,
Yeah,
we may not talk, but I'm gonna miss these.
of
The
course.
effort that I took just to iron, look good and everything, because for sure, dog, they'll make sure to find a way
Of course.
to just,
To just say have something to say.
yeah,
They always have something to say, no matter what.
yeah. They'll always. But the thing is as well, even if you find a solution, they'll always,
Like no matter even
no
you you
matter.
you, you may be told in the streets, bro, you're looking good. But when you get to school, I don't know those fellow classmates.
Nah,
They don't bro, they always find a little something that you don't even notice yourself, and they'll be like,
and the problem is it's natural.
you see,
it's
it's so natural to the
it's
and
so natural.
it's normal.
It's normalized. Like
Yeah, it's
it's
normalized. Like
really
people just know that
normalized.
this is how life is like. To the extent of, because also me, I was
It
laughing.
can be criticized so much that you would do the most unspeakable thing just to make them
You'll be living
quiet.
for people.
You'll be leaving for people. Just keep
And when you're
quiet.
growing up, you'll be living for people. That's why I'm saying, yeah, in Zimbabwe, there's a way you would learn it so that you know not to live for people. But here, bro, it's just the gesture of those Chinese people that I just looked at and I was like, wow,
There are a lot of people who wear like not so quality branded shoes
mm,
and just go on about their day. In China,
you know,
it's us
African.
as Africans.
You know
Even
me.
it still happens.
It still happens, but me, I don't know how many pairs. You know me.
Yeah, of course, you're a shoe guy. We are the same. We are
You
shoe
know,
guys. Quality, even the quality
quality.
of your clothes. You have to make sure. You have to make sure.
Bro, I don't even know what to
And
say, but
imagine the people who are manufacturing those same shoes don't
mm,
even have the time to purchase those shoes. They just wear another version of the
of
shoes
the shoes. That's it. They don't
going
even care.
about their day.
But I saw that, sometimes Chinese people they actually wear some funny type of clothes. But if
Which
you
ones?
ask them how much those clothes weigh, bro,
Not to say they are not financially and all those things, but
bro,
Chinese, they will humble you.
bro,
They will really
you
humble
will
you.
see them wearing a short and a
Yeah, maybe a
t-shirt,
t-shirt like this.
and then see that person entering a Lamborghini or some stuff like that, or bro,
But we saw McLaren's
that day, yeah,
when we're looking for the
the
mics.
mics,
Hi.
yeah, you're traumatized.
Yeah. And we want scooters. Alipay bikes.
Alipay back, yeah.
Alipay bikes, and we just stopped. We just stopped and just observed that McLaren's, and we said, "Yes, one day
One day, of course, the dreams
dreams." But we're allowed to have dreams.
of
We are allowed to
a
have
boy
dreams.
in his 20s just dreaming of this
It
can be.
took China 15 years.
Hmm,
What
what
about
about
you?
I'm one? These are like, I don't know, billions of people, but
Mm,
I'm not the only one, right? I'm responsible for my own,
mm.
so I should be able to make it in lesser time. Let's
But
hope
yeah,
so.
patience is key.
Patience is key, right?
That's what they said.
That's, oh, that's what they said.
Patience is key. Ajudit Zongo.
But I recently saw a post about the 6G network competition on one.
Yeah.
Do you still remember when we were still using 4G, bro? And these guys started also doing what they are doing now of telling us that the 5G network is about to come up,
Now they're talking about 6G.
6G. I remember in Zimbabwe, bro, knowing that in Zimbabwe too, for us to have 5G,
It's just
it's gonna take.
LTE is what you see on the iPhone.
Oh, oh my god, bro!
LTE is what you see on
I
the
was like,
iPhone when you turn on that number gate.
oh, when I was seeing the adverts,
Mm.
I think when I was home on YouTube, it's hearing that China and America they are now using the
6G.
5G, what,
It.
and I'm looking at my iTunes
Mm.
network. It's written 4G. I was like, maybe very,
Very
very
soon.
soon,
Very
bro.
soon.
I came here with that item, bro. I told you about that item.
You got stroke.
I placed that 5G thing, the
It couldn't handle.
line. It couldn't handle it.
Couldn't.
There's no experience, not trying to throw shade or what.
Mm.
That phone started flinging, bro. The 5G network, it was so strong that my phone would heat up. It would heat. Do you know? It would heat, bro. And then
You could cook an egg on the bed.
exactly, I could literally cook an egg
Mm.
with that phone.
Cook an
But I
egg.
realized that I should change the phone. That's when I got the Chinese version of this Hawaii.
Mm.
And then that's when I started the 5G network started being smooth and everything.
Cooperative and all
You
those
know,
things.
So by hearing the 6G network, I just hope that Africa would also be,
At least,
ready, bro, for that thing to come. Because I really want a dream that Africa could just go along with the times as
but
every other nation.
how would you try to make Africa
For,
to
for
be
my
better off?
for my instance, bro,
Mm.
with what it looks like right now, the the world is now on the phones. It's now digital. It's no longer physical like what it was before. Like in terms of changing countries or changing nations, before we would talk about building roads, building buildings and stuff. It's not that right now it's not necessary. It is, but the source of getting that now it's no longer in those physical stuff. It's
Yeah,
now
yeah,
digital. You see what other kids are doing like us now. We
yeah.
are just sitting here and then we're talking in a podcast.
People are streaming.
People are streaming, people, Idle Speed is
Yeah,
doing this and that. Those kids are making money just by booking a flight and talking about it, another country and walking around the street. And the person is making money. But before, a person would have to go and dig the ground, bro, so
mining.
that you can make money. But right now, the world should realize, or Africans should realize that now
We need to
to utilize this technology. People don't like
evolve.
technology. Some people don't even have time or want time to learn about this technology, bro. But this is where this is where thing is going. We have to try to be more digitalized. Buy your kids computers. Let them learn these things.
But there are some things that could happen. I mean, the limitations
Yeah, that's true.
with technology.
Yeah, bro.
But I was wondering that things you're not supposed to see as a parent.
Yeah, that's true, bro. But
Me,
everything.
they could fall
Mm,
into like bad things because, like you said,
mm.
now since everything is in the phone, you could be exposed to anything, and
Yeah,
your
they can, bro.
child
Mm.
is gullible as well,
Of course, bro.
really gullible with anything that could
Mm,
happen. You could tell them, me as a person, not to say we are not discouraging them, but
mm.
like there's a lot going on, like, a lot.
True, bro. There's a lot. Like, yeah, some best stuff on the internet are they, or you can meet some videos, some content,
Some videos they
that
just
can be not very, very comfortable for a child to see. But at the same time,
how can
you
you
you have to try
handle
your
that
level
now?
best to handle it. Like I think I'm not saying that's like the best way
Because
to teach them.
Zimbabwean parents,
Yeah,
African
I
parents,
know them. Yeah, I'm not saying that's the best way, like to buy them and then, of course, like any other platform, there's
mm,
parental guidance, right? The kind of parental guidance I'm talking about, it's not like you just have to press it and then you give them the phone.
yeah,
Sometimes you have to actually find them a tutor. Some cannot afford. Find them a person, a guide, or you can be their guide. But
yeah,
try to. What I'm just saying is, let's try to engage people on the internet more to understand what the technology is going to, so that when we are growing, right, when we are growing up,
yeah,
we grow up in a mindset of knowing how the world looks. Because genuinely speaking,
hmm
the way my eyes were opened when I was here than when I was home is to an extent where you feel like if I knew this,
I would do.
maybe I would have, maybe I wouldn't,
Mm.
but you would feel like that. So me, what my dream is, I just want people, even for other people who are still younger than me, I want
To
them to
see
have that chance, bro, so that they can realize that the world is not like my community.
there's
You see,
something
there's
outside.
something that is outside that is much greater than what I'm seeing around
Yeah, that is true. But
me. AI.
AI is really playing with us now to a point where I see comments
Hmm.
on TikTok where they would ask like, "Chat,
Yeah.
chat, is this real or AI?" You
Because
wouldn't
you
know
didn't
at
know,
this
bro.
point. Like,
Even Xi Jinping ended up making that rule to the world and even in China that if something is built by AI, it has to have
watermark.
a watermark of saying that it was built by AI. Because now people are now do not know, they don't
Yeah,
know now which one is
even
real or fake.
do you know the
Was that
WhatsApp
Beijing?
Beijing trend?
No,
Oh,
no.
okay.
Is it what's a Beijing trend?
No, like People on TikTok, they're really
I TikTok.
people on TikTok are really sometimes when I'm bored, I just go on TikTok and I just observe the videos, the trend,
Hmm.
what's up Beijing, and then they play that Chinese song.
Oh, that I
Wow.
should.
No, no, no,
No, no,
not
not the
not
one that
Super
I
Idol.
should.
No, not
Uh,
that one. There's another one, but it's a trap song. But then they show China. Like,
whose song is that?
yeah, we'll
Play
show
it.
it.
I wanted you to sing it.
Mm. We'll play it. I'm
Oh,
not
play.
gonna sing it. I don't
Oh,
even know. It's
oh, yeah,
Chinese.
okay,
It's
okay.
Chinese.
I wanted you to
Maybe.
sing like to give the tone, you know. Uh,
好激动，逻辑. You see?
I don't know
But
it. I don't
yeah,
know it. I just know the one that I show speed is like he plays it
Super
once in a while.
Idol.
It's super idea. Yeah, that one. I like that song. But
But AI is really dribbling us
you know what
nowadays.
ChatGPT is now doing? I think
Ghibli,
I think
the
yeah,
update,
yeah. You're saying that a
Ghibli
lot,
app.
right?
Yeah,
I tried it and I was like, wow, bro. Like it can literally transform your picture into a cartoon. Like literally,
yeah.
literally, bro. Like you can feel like you are part of Boondocks.
So yeah, but that's the problem as well. I think there's a dead internet now as
But
you're talking.
yeah, I think
I
people
don't
should
think
actually engage in this, bro. I'm
everything is
telling you.
going to be real now. At this point in time,
But
anything is not going to be real.
I understand what you're saying, and that's true. But I understood something, bro. The way that a human mind adapts to certain changes
Mm,
is very interesting. Let's say World War, right?
yeah,
That was a massacre. World War One, World War Two.
apocalypse.
There was a lot that was Hiroshima and what you know.
Uh,
That those are some things that even us we didn't experience it. If you just think about it, if it was there, you would feel like, ah, me, I wouldn't survive a
you
day.
wouldn't survive.
You see,
That's why.
but there are already people who survived. So even I think even this AI thing, bro, when it's happening, people can get scared about the future and say these things may happen. But I know the human mind, the way it adapts to situations,
It
bro.
can finesse
There is
out
a
of its
way that
way.
we are just going to settle and understand this thing, and the world is gonna move on.
Already, they're talking about helicopters, taxis, like
You know, you can even accept
yeah,
it without knowing.
and it will totally be bizarre for
It-
someone
you know,
back there, your grandparents.
your grandparents will be like, "Ah,
Don't even think this is real.
this is you see." They
Mm.
will be saying this like this console playing, and they'll be like, ah, "Was this a match?" But they don't know. But it's because for us now, as I am saying, we already
We're
adapted.
used.
Now we know
Mm.
this is how the world is like. So I think the human mind adapts to situations because these things they don't happen all of a sudden. They take a gradual turn each and every time frame, and everything that was shocking, everybody got used to it. People can shout and do what right now,
Hmm.
but with time, everybody will just accept it and just say, "This is how it
This
is.
is how it
This is
is.
how it's going." That's what I think. Even though, yes, we have to continue putting more restrictions and guidelines so that these things cannot be abused, because the abuse in these things, people, with great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah,
Because, bro,
you'll suffer the consequences.
you know, you know what other 20-year-olds can type in that chat GPT so that he can generate something.
That's what I'm saying. You will feel like you're not speaking to anything no more. Your
You,
grandparents will feel like this ChatGPT
bro,
program or something. There are applications
mm,
now. I don't know what's the name of the application, but apparently there's an application where you can talk to any celebrity,
for you.
dead and alive.
Well, you see the problem.
Dead and alive. Someone typed in
Hmm,
comments, but I'm sure I saw this somewhere,
hmm.
but I
Was it
didn't
only
take.
like you were scrolling on
I
the?
was just scrolling
Yeah, yeah, of
and
course.
I saw it there. Dead or you can speak to Tupac,
For you.
Michael Jackson,
Wow.
but
Would
on the
you
phone.
who would you like to talk to?
Who would I like to talk to?
Hmm. And why?
Uh, that's a really good question. Who would I want to talk to?
Hmm.
It's a bit controversial
It's
from the
okay.
people,
Yeah.
but I would want to talk to. Who would I want to talk to actually?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. Who would you, let's say, upon the dead people? who would you say, yeah, this is the guy I would like to have a conversation, and I would like to know why that person. And the first question we would ask, right? I'll answer all this question also.
Okay, okay. I'll just say Michael Jackson,
Why?
just to be basic.
Why?
I used to go insane for Michael Jackson.
You used to what?
Go insane.
For real?
My dad would buy me CDs of Michael Jackson.
Woo.
CDs of Michael Jackson. I would make dance moves, copying from the TV, singing Billie Jean, Thriller,
Thriller, of course, Thriller.
Beat It. But
Mm.
now the people are taking it in another way now. You have to say pause
No.
after saying beat it. See, you have to say pause, but yeah. Why Michael Jackson? You see,
I was slow. But
yeah.
yeah.
Why Michael Jackson?
Mm.
That guy was phenomenal.
He was though.
He was
Remember
phenomenal.
the when after Kendrick Lamar, he
Mm.
started showing the number. I didn't know that he was the number one,
Yeah.
about the
The
streaming
awards
and the
and
stuff of the Super
streaming.
Bowl. I was like, yeah,
Oh,
this guy was good.
Super Bowl halftime show.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
do
yeah.
that every time.
Yeah, they do that
The
every time.
way he was when
Yeah.
when he was doing the halftime show, like
Mm.
he was just there. He just stood there on the podium,
Mm.
and people are just passing out, passing out.
Imagine, bro.
Seeing doctors carrying these beds,
Imagine.
going out, and all those things, screaming everywhere, and he just does this more noise after that.
Oh,
Just move.
yeah,
You know?
I remember that, bro. Like there were
Just
people complaining that this guy was making people scream and making noise, but he didn't say
he's just still.
nothing, bro. He's just standing.
He's still, and he moves, and then he moves, and then people make more noise, and also they had a conspiracy that he was a wizard or something.
Yeah, or something like that. Of course,
But
Satanists and stuff. People
I don't
say
know.
all
There's
bunch of
this
stuff.
thing about when you're rich,
You know,
people assume that
especially bro.
people assume that
You're doing some
you did
shady
something.
stuff. But
Mm.
honestly, yes, I think maybe there's some
There are some
because
people.
there's always some fire to the smoke. I think here there are literally some people who are involved in that, and
Yeah,
some people actually found out and but now everybody will just start thinking that since that guy was rich, everybody else does the same thing
is them.
so that
Yeah,
they can get rich. But true, man.
but what
It's a
about
sad
you?
thing. No, I want to hear the
What
first question
what am I
you
gonna
would,
ask him?
yes, what would you ask Michael Jackson?
What would I ask Michael
That's
Jackson?
what
How?
how,
How did you get the idea
yeah,
of these dances? Moonwalking,
yeah,
lean.
bro.
How?
Imagine that guy is dead,
What did you think of?
bro.
Where did that come from? What told you
Mm.
to do this? What told you to spin like this? Rolling, 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 and then stop. And then
I can see
you
this
see?
guy is like you.
Like, why?
Yeah, but
Why?
that's a good question,
Yeah,
though.
like
That's a literal good question.
like,
Maybe he answered it on YouTube. We don't know the video, but actually, for me,
mm,
are you asking that question honestly? That's a quite a good
like
question.
back there, what made you think to dance like that? Moonwalk people think that's witchcraft.
Actually, they do.
Back there,
Like,
people thought
yeah,
that's
they do.
witchcraft.
They do,
I
yeah.
understand if you found out about this dance now. If
Mm.
someone invented it now, okay, fine. But back
Back
then,
then,
I no. With those shoes of yours, those tuxedos, and then
mm,
you lean again, and you're doing this leaning.
bro.
Come on.
But that's iconic, bro. Like, imagine everybody right now is just moonwalking. People are just moonwalking and
Moonwalking everywhere.
songs, moonwalk,
Mm.
everything, bro, around the world. And you are
Dang.
dead.
Now, also, I might as well ask him how he beat Tupac. I'll ask him that. Like,
How did he
I
do it?
mean, he was part of a gang affiliations as well.
Yeah,
He doesn't sound like that.
it doesn't do
He
at all,
doesn't.
at all, bro.
He sounds. His voice is deep.
It's deep, yeah, so it doesn't even.
Like, how did you get associated with that? No.
Yeah.
USA, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I guess. I
Yeah.
guess.
What about you?
As for me, bro. Ah, what do I want to talk to? Who is that?
Rasputin?
Hmm? Who's
You,
that?
you know Rasputin, the guy they tried to unalive so many times
I don't
and
even.
you couldn't die.
No, 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 I don't even.
Um, Genghis Khan.
I know none of them, bro.
Genghis Khan was a massacre.
Hmm.
He actually helped the population. I think he's like Thanos, basically.
But he
Let me
wanted
just say that.
the stones.
No, no, no. Yeah,
Yeah.
but not the
Yeah, I
stones,
know, I know.
the swords now. He would
You
go
would.
to a country,
Mm.
slash everyone,
Bro,
and take all the women.
and take all the women. That's very.
If you
That
surrender, you're joining the
the
army,
army.
and then we take another country. Slash everyone who fights back, surrender, join our army, take your
Some of
ladies.
these
Uh,
ideologies, where the,
he killed so many people.
well, of course, with that manner. I even with you telling me the story, I just want to know how it even started for it to grow like that. Like gossip.
A
Gossip. That's how
Mongolian
that's
emperor.
how gossip grows. Just by one person, and it's starting. All of a sudden, you find it with someone you
Flame.
don't even know, like a flame. And that story that you spoke here, it's now
Mm.
on the southeast of another nation. You
But
get it? So for me, as I was just thinking, on the people that are dead, I would like to talk to Robert Gabriel.
that's a good one. One, Robert. What's the first question? Robert Mugabe.
Not that he's the best, best person that I could want to talk to, but as of now, whilst I'm thinking, it's just the first person that I thought of. Because Zimbabwe is facing these times of trying to bring change and so forth like that, which nobody actually knows which is the best change for Zimbabwe. People would be just acting upon what they're experiencing.
Hmm.
They are experiencing that these things that the ruling party might not be good at what they might be doing. People some might feel like that, but for Mugabe, I just want to. I want to, why I want to talk to him is you know there's some power
Hmm.
to rule a nation for 37 years, and there are some times where people show you that we don't like to be rude,
For
or we don't no
37
longer
years.
37 years with one person, but his capability, bro, of just continuing being in power, and the clips that are shown on YouTube of him, have you ever seen that clip where he says we are not gays?
Mm.
When that gay propaganda, I mean,
Who
gay
else
thing
is going
started,
to fold if we show them women right
that
now?
you know, those kind of clips,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
So for me, it's like,
How?
ah, how how much do you have to have? How much order or willpower do
Say it
you have to have, bro, to stand in front of the United Nations
and say
and
that.
say something like that?
I mean, you should go through his history.
Yeah, I
He's
am,
a
bro. But I
well-educated man.
think even though you learn for 4 years, right? There are some situations that come to you that
Pressure.
question all those stuff at once, right?
Mm.
And at that moment, you're supposed to give one answer, but it's regarding all your stuff that you do. Because
I understand what you mean.
and so I just want to ask you, where does he find that
Within, like,
strength within
willpower.
himself? How does he generate that strength? It might not be because I know there are some people who actually did the same or more, but with
They,
the
after that, there was clashing.
they were clashing, bro.
And then they had to change.
So that's what
But he stood on the ground
he
and said,
stood on his business. That man, bro.
yeah,
If he says that this is, he said to the British that you can keep your Britain, I will keep my Zimbabwe. Bro, statements like that, man. Those are the like I just want to ask you, bro, like how?
Oh, oh,
How do you how are you capable of literally standing in front of people that you know they are capable of sanctioning the nation, do all sorts of stuff to the nation that we can
they could
actually
even start a war for saying
even yeah,
such things.
it's like, but the boldness, the courage, bro.
I think he was, he really loved this country.
Yeah, he did.
But
Surely he did.
imagine if he was still on the podium till now.
You know.
Would they been changes or what?
Probably they would have, but of course they would have, of course. But the fact that he was,
Would it still
of
be
age, he was like
the same
old.
like right now or
Hmm.
different?
I think it would be different
In what way?
because
Because
for me, I wasn't actually yet conscious about the nation stuff at
yeah,
that time. But Robert Mugabe at his prime, right, with what he was doing on and what is represented on the social media, because right now at that time I wasn't yet old enough, but what is shown on social media was that he was a man of his word. Like if he says something that, like there were situations where he would come back to Zimbabwe and then say all the oil prices should just go down, and literally the oil
the go
prices will
down.
go down. You get it? So there are some situations that are happening now that Mugabe at his prime, if he was still in power right now, there's some things that would have been solved by just him speaking.
But was it only speaking, or there had to
Sometimes
be consequences for that
not
if
so
you don't
sure about the consequences, bro.
obey?
Was you remember? I think you know that people were even saying like they had fear of saying his name in the street.
You're not allowed to wear what is it?
Camouflage,
Camouflage, military
military
attire
way, Just
in the town and all those things. You're not even allowed to be homosexual.
you see.
Yeah.
So the amount of power that he had, bro, like right now, that power could have or changed things. I don't know for the good or the bad, but I know literally Zimbabwe wouldn't be the way it is right now.
Would there be a situation where, like these celebs that have access to gold, going to Dubai
To
and all those
Dubai
nice
and stuff like,
things,
I don't think so. Maybe you would have people he might be doing it with, but they wouldn't be people that are
like
in the front lines like that.
what's his name, Java?
But
What's
Prophet Passion Java.
Passion Java?
Yeah.
Would there be such things like that if he was
Honestly speaking, I don't think so. Honestly, from my perspective, with what I think and how I view his character and how he operated in the past, I don't think so. Because people's stories long ago wouldn't just come out, just
just
like
like that?
how it is now. Things are just being shared. And because of social media, things are just taken as jokes nowadays. But sometimes, these things are literally happening. And
This is what's happening.
this is
This
our
is
actual
real
problems.
life.
This is real life. But because of jokes and social media, people just like what happened to when Say Wicknell got married.
Hmm.
The the family of the wife got
Mhm.
robbed
Hmm.
after he had given them bands, bro.
Just like that.
Just like. But right now, because of social media, everybody will just be, saying, he's giving too much money.
That's,
Hey, what?
I think with social media, there's a point of utility satisfaction where you just, it's a short time span where you just, let me just swipe down or something. You will just lose interest into it because there's so much that's
Hmm.
going on you don't want to miss in the world.
Yeah,
There's so much going on.
at the
But
end, there's so much.
mm,
Yeah,
drinking strips, yeah.
I didn't even touch my cup.
You're invested into it. You're
I was,
enjoying.
bro. I can say that.
You're really enjoying it.
I can say that.
You're enjoying.
Let me take a
But
sip. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe, comment, and
and share, like.
yes, for sure. And thank the Most High God forevermore.